After 60, your body isn't failing you, it's quietly shutting down. Most people never feel aging arrive. It doesn't slam the door. It whispers. One day, you hesitate before standing up. Another day, stairs feel steeper. One morning, you notice you're pushing off the chair with your hands without even thinking about it. Here's the uncomfortable truth most Americans over 60 are never told. After the age of 30, your body loses muscle every single decade. Not evenly, not gently. And the muscle group that takes the hardest hit is the one you depend on the most for independence. Your glutes. They are the largest and most powerful muscles in your body. They stabilize your spine. They protect your hips. They catch you when you stumble. And yet, they weaken faster than almost any other muscle group as you age. What makes this especially dangerous is that glute weakness doesn't announce itself with pain at first. It shows up as hesitation, as stiffness, as balance that feels just slightly off. Most people blame their knees, or their back, or just getting older. But the real problem is deeper, and ignoring it is exactly how independence quietly slips away. Because once your glutes weaken, everything changes. Walking becomes cautious, standing becomes effortful, and a simple misstep can turn into a fall that changes your life forever. This is not about fitness. This is about survival, safety, and staying in control of your own body. And what most doctors recommend next may actually be missing the real problem. Walking feels safe, but it barely wakes up the muscles that keep you upright. If you ask most doctors what exercise seniors should do, you'll hear the same answer again and again. Just keep walking. Walking is familiar. Walking feels safe. Walking feels responsible. But here's what almost no one explains clearly. Walking barely activates your glute muscles at all. When you walk at a comfortable pace, your body chooses efficiency over strength. Smaller muscles take over. Momentum does the work. Your glutes remain mostly asleep. This explains a frustrating reality many Americans over 60 experience. They walk every day. They stay active. And yet they still struggle to get out of chairs. They still feel unstable on stairs. They still worry about falling. Because movement alone is not enough. Your body does not automatically strengthen what it does not need to use. And after years of sitting in cars, on couches, at desks, the brain begins to forget how to fully activate the glutes. This isn't laziness, it's neurology. The result is a dangerous illusion. You feel like you're doing the right thing. But the muscles that protect your balance remain weak. And weak glutes don't just affect your backside. They shift stress into your knees. They overload your lower back. They make your gait less stable. This is how people fall, not because they were reckless, but because their foundation quietly failed. And once a fall happens, the consequences are rarely small. Weak glutes don't just hurt. They take away confidence and freedom. Falls are not just physical events. They are psychological turning points. After one fall, many seniors stop trusting their bodies. They move less. They avoid stairs. They stay closer to furniture. And that fear accelerates decline faster than aging itself. Research consistently shows that seniors with weak glute muscles are far more likely to experience falls. But what's often overlooked is what comes after. Hip fractures, chronic back pain, knee degeneration, loss of independence, in some cases, permanent relocation out of the home. This is why glute strength is not cosmetic. It is functional survival. Your glutes keep your pelvis level when you walk. They stabilize you when you stand on one leg. They absorb shock every time your foot hits the ground. When they weaken, your body compensates poorly. Your stride shortens. Your posture collapses. Balance becomes reactive instead of automatic. Climbing stairs stops feeling natural. Getting out of a car feels awkward. Standing up from a chair becomes a conscious effort. These are the moments Americans fear the most. Not pain, but dependence. The fear of needing help. The fear of becoming a burden. The fear of losing control. And here's the shocking part. You do not need squats. You do not need lunges. You do not need to risk falling to rebuild glute strength. In fact, for many people over 60, the safest and most effective place to start is sitting down. Sitting isn't the problem. Sitting can be the solution. Most people assume strength must come from standing exercises. But for older adults, standing often introduces fear, joint pain, and balance challenges that prevent proper muscle activation. When the nervous system senses danger, it shuts down power. Seated exercises remove that threat. When you sit, your body feels supported. Your joints feel safe. Your brain relaxes. And that is exactly when muscles are most receptive to training. This is why researchers have discovered something surprising. Certain seated exercises can activate glute muscles nearly as effectively as standing movements, sometimes even more effectively because the body isn't distracted by staying upright. For people with knee pain, hip replacements, or balance issues, this changes everything. It means you can rebuild strength without fear. It means you can train consistency without injury. It means you can reconnect your brain to muscles that have been offline for years. The key is progression, not jumping straight into intensity, but waking the system gently. That's where simple seated movements come in. Movements that teach the glutes to fire again. Movements that improve coordination before strength. Because before a muscle grows stronger, it must remember how to turn on. Simple seated movements rebuild the brain-muscle connection. First, many people over 60 suffer from what exercise scientists call gluteal amnesia. The brain simply stops sending strong signals to the glutes after prolonged sitting. This is why basic seated exercises matter so much. Seated marching looks simple, but it serves a critical purpose. It wakes up hip flexors. It introduces controlled movement. And most importantly, it reintroduces the glutes during the lowering phase. Slow, controlled lowering forces the glutes to work eccentrically. This type of contraction builds strength and coordination far more effectively than rushing through movement. As the nervous system adapts, coordination improves, mobility improves, confidence returns. From there, adding seated leg extensions with deliberate glute squeezing introduces co-contraction. Multiple muscles learn to work together again. Joints feel more stable. Movement feels safer. This is not about burning calories. It is about restoring communication. And when you consciously squeeze and hold, you strengthen the neural pathways as much as the muscle itself. This is why even subtle exercises can produce meaningful results when done consistently. Your body doesn't need punishment. It needs clarity. Hip stability determines whether you walk confidently or cautiously. One of the most neglected muscles in older adults is the gluteus medius. This muscle sits on the side of the hip and keeps your pelvis level when you walk. When it weakens, your hips sway. Your balance becomes unstable, and every step feels less secure. This is where seated hip abduction becomes essential. Pushing the knees outward against resistance trains the exact muscles responsible for stability. Whether done isometrically with your hands or dynamically with a resistance band, the effect is powerful. Stronger hip stabilizers mean fewer missteps, less wobble, more confidence. And confidence changes how you move. As strength improves, subtle imbalances become noticeable. One side feels weaker. One side fatigues faster. This is where single-leg seated exercises matter. They expose hidden asymmetries. They force each glute to work independently. And over time, they restore balance between both sides of the body. This is not just strength training. This is structural correction. And once these imbalances are addressed, pain often decreases naturally. Balance improves. Walking becomes smoother. Now the body is ready for the most important movement of all. This one-seated exercise rebuilds strength without risk. The seated glute bridge is considered the gold standard for glute rehabilitation for a reason. It loads the glutes with body weight. It eliminates balance concerns, and it mirrors the movement you use every day when standing up. By pressing the feet into the floor and lifting the hips, the glutes must fire powerfully. Holding at the top increases time under tension. Lowering slowly builds control. Unlike squats or deadlifts, there is no sudden joint stress, no fear of falling, no need to rush. And studies consistently show that seated glute bridges can produce remarkable strength gains in adults over 60, even more than some standing exercises, because the body feels safe, and safe bodies get stronger. As strength improves, variations increase challenge, longer holds, single-leg versions, light resistance bands, but the foundation remains the same: controlled effort, consistent practice, patience. This is how independence is rebuilt. Weak glutes are not inevitable. They are reversible. Aging is not the enemy. Disuse is. The seniors who regain strength are not extraordinary. They are consistent. They show up 3 times per week. They respect their bodies. They train intelligently. Strong glutes mean fewer falls, less pain, better posture, and most importantly, confidence in movement. Confidence to stand up without thinking. Confidence to walk without fear. Confidence to live independently longer. Your body has not given up on you. It is waiting for the right signal, and sometimes the strongest step forward doesn't start on your feet. It starts from a chair. If you ignore this now, the cost comes later. If you act now, the reward is freedom. That choice is still yours.